closed indicates to me that we're not going lower than the low of yesterday, but that we'll probably revisit the low of yesterday here in the first half hour or so. And we'll go from a significant trough into a peak, which is probably a high for the day, and then back into lows with the lowest low in the last hour. It looks like. Man, that devil card around that double cross reading congruency with the devil card in the unicursal, that's going to be a tricky trade. Even though it's like so significantly, like it's so clearly like a significant moment, it's still not going to be an easy trade. There's so much mixed kind of energy going on around it. It's going to be like a serious fake out of some kind with a sharp drop in it. But that right there at the open is this ruin. We had some bullish price swings, which often on a like a smaller time frame scale, the Dominion card is going to be bullish price swings rather than just price swings. On like a larger time frame scale, a lot of times just price swings, not necessarily bullish. But here you can see this is Dominion, bullish bullish price swings into the open, and then a big drop at the open, which should continue somewhere into that like first. Hmm. Pretty frustrating though. That I really expected much more of a drop. That indicates, I mean, the fact that that's happened a few times in a row indicates that the trend, the upward trend, is much stronger than anticipated. Because what it does is it nullifies kind of like the cards going, or the energies of the cards in the opposite direction, or the opposing energies, I should say. When you have like a really strong overarching trend, the opposing energies are going to be like nullified almost. Not nullified, but they're going to be dampened is a good word. But this is what I was expecting is this decline to continue, but the fact that we went up so high at the end of the day brought us to back to right about where we closed the prior day, indicating that this decline with the Ace of Cups, it was the second of the two options, the one that I was less expecting, but still one of the two options that I mentioned, which is that we would end up at the same low, and that's looking much more like the case now that we've opened so much higher than I thought. If we had opened near lows of the prior day, then would have been a certainty that we were going lower. In any case, I'm exiting my put positions here in the midst of this morning decline. Overall, the truce card is going to be kind of like a sideways type of energy. Sometimes what you see is a big move on one end of it, and then there's like a sidewaysy move for the majority of the theme. But what I think is probably going to happen is we're going to have some back and forth behavior going on here midday. Really mixed sideways behavior is what I'm seeing here today. Although off of the low, there should be a pretty big move to the upside. And we did have high correlators here, cross-reading congruencies, that should say, high correlations here on the 7th on the one day. Seven of Swords. Oh, do I have it on the wrong day? Seven of Swords was on the 6th. That should have been there. Five of Discs. What the heck? Interesting, I have those on the wrong day there. Alright, so here's a notable turnaround already. Right, the decline is going to offer an opportunity to close a short position or open up a long position. You could probably do a day trade where you open up the long position and close the long position midday, maybe like somewhere between 11 and 1, probably closer to the 11 to 12 o'clock hour. Somebody should be speaking around that time. A male ruler of nations will be speaking. So I think probably what's going to happen here, guys. Hey, it was luck. So we've got this decline because we opened so much higher than anticipated. I would say that low, we came pretty close. I think we probably go a little bit lower. So like there's this peak and then we sell off from it more. So we've got this move to the upside to create that peak. How high we go, hard to say. It could be all the way back to the top. But then there's going to be another decline and we should either revisit this, I think, or maybe go revisit this price level. Interesting. I think we probably don't visit the lows of the following day until like later on in the day. If we don't do it here in the first half hour, I would say we probably don't do it until early afternoon. So if we see another price level around here in like the first hour and a half, so we're already almost into the first half hour, but see we're turning around again here, and we'll probably go lower into the lows. That could easily be the peak because we're so close to the 10 o'clock hour. We'll see. But I wanna look for a good opportunity here in the first hour and a half to open up, probably closer to the first half hour. But since we've already had this little bit of a move back, what I'm looking for is this price level or lower, which is what, like 434-ish, 434.50-ish. I want that price level or lower to open up a long position for a day trade, and I'll close that long position like late morning session, maybe at the latest noon, but probably closer to like the 11 to 12 o'clock hour. Somebody, a male ruler of nations, should be speaking at around that time. Hey, Buddy Bear, you want to come up? You're a good boy, you know. You're a good boy, you know. Everybody loves you. He's such a good boy, Hermes, you know. Everybody loves you so much, you know. Everywhere we go, it's the Hermes show. Because you're the star of the show. You're the star of the show, Hermes. Come on up here. Come on. Come sit in your spot. Good boy. Also, midday, you could probably do this one might be a little bit more risky, but you could probably do a short midday for a day trade as well. So late morning session, around the time that we have a male ruler of nations speaking, there's going to be this rally along a diagonal trend line, breaking through horizontal resistance, meet a second resistance, and then pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. It should be roughly around the same price level as the highs of earlier in the day. You could utilize that opportunity as an opportunity to short and close that short probably around 315 towards the end of a period of sideways rotation when it turns into some volatility in that last hour. Let's take a look at some of the spot prices of the metals. Somebody was asking about metals, so let's take a look at metals here. Actually, I wonder if TradingView does that. I never tried to look at TradingView for metals. Nope. Ugh, I hate these line charts. Is there really no option for a graph? Oh, that's the wrong one. Give me a good... I never remember it being this difficult to find a good gold chart. Jesus. Unbelievable. So annoying. I want a candlestick chart. My God. I guess we're not doing a candlestick chart because I'm tired of looking for one. That's ridiculous. God. Yeah, so we should see highs for gold here in the end of the year, guys. A bit of a decline in the beginning of November, but that decline should offer an opportunity to open up a long position. Ooh. That's a little tricky. I feel like that's already taken place here, though. So we're a little bit ahead of schedule on the sequence of events, I think. Let me see. This is September, October. So we may see this price level again relatively soon. It's hard to say, but we're also going to see year highs here. That's a pretty strong indication. We may have already seen this trough here. Could be this right here, or we could be coming up to see it again. It's possible. But as far as highs are concerned, we have more to go. There's this resistance level around the high for November, which is in the earlier part of November. There's this resistance level that we've come up against many times before. This looks like a pretty strong resistance here at this level. And then it looks like out of a trough towards the end of the month, if we are on pace, out of a trough at the end of the month, we go higher into highs in the last month of the year. And at the beginning of December looks like the beginning of December looks like an opportunity to close a long position or open a short position. So we had a highest high thus far for the year, or highest high for the year here in like July, August, and you can see we were a little bit late. We had it here in May, June, so we're about a month off. It's a little bit more than I'd like to see. And there's that ruin right there, which in a lot of cases indicates a highest high. Not always, but sometimes, and it looks like I missed it there. I'm pretty sure this right here is this significant drop. So we go into highest highs here. We'll probably go higher as we move into the end of November. We probably continue higher, is my sense. Actually, I don't think there's much of a trough there. Oh well, it's still early November. It's a little mixed, but if I had to pick either direction, I would definitely be leaning towards the upside for more high to go, because we should at least see highs around like 2040 or so at least. And then when we go into 2024, let's see if I got anything started for that. I got so many that I started. Let's see. I don't think I did, but... Oh, I did. Wow. Okay. Okay, so see here, the high in January is the multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance, and at the beginning of January we have the halting or the completion of a bullish trend, a big drop to the downside in late January. That holds pretty strong with what we have here in the end of January. At highest highs, we have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. So the the end of December, we have multiple failed attempts to break through key resistance. So that's the same card from January's high. Likely the high at the end of the year is like the high. We declined from that in early January. Going to be some significant volatility throughout the year, but I think overall it's going to end up bullish. There's a lot of bullish stuff going on here. But a very, very mixed year, 2024 for gold. I don't think I did anything for silver in 2024 yet. I did not. Oh, that's June. So why does the chart look like that for silver? That's weird. All right. This one we nailed. We had the high in April, May. You can see high in April, May. And it looks like lowest low in March, although at the time I did this reading, I didn't know enough about that stone to indicate it, but you can see this reading was done September 25th, 2022 at 4:04 p.m. Eastern Time. We nailed the high, guys. Like within 2 weeks, we nailed the high, and it's also a double. I mean, it's a double top kind of. We have a high and a high. And then here in October, we have lowest lows for the year, and you can see how we might have missed the one here in March, but we came very, very close to it here in October. So I don't see highest highs for silver here in the end of the year like we do for gold. There should be some notable bullish moves towards the end of the month of November. Actually, in the beginning and the end, but it's mixed. November's mixed. We end November. It looks like moving to the upside, and then we get into more volatility in December. There'll be a prominent peak there. Oh, actually, we might have a highest high here. Okay, and the reason I say is this luxury card here is a very strong energetically correlated to the abundance card and the love card. Both of those, that's that double top there. A little bit early on the first one, a little bit late on the second one, but pretty much like within 2 weeks' time, we nailed this double top, and then we have this lowest low here in October. But this is a very strong correlation to both cards that appear at the double top here. So my sense is that we probably do have a highest high here, especially when you combine it with the moon card, the full card here. But it would be a brief peak that's easily missed, followed by a decline through multiple support levels, probably taking us into a low for the month. And this is what I got for 2024. Not much, but I at least put the spread down. I didn't do any of the markup yet, because I'm not planning on following silver too much. Why is it doing that? What the heck? My computer is really bugging out lately. Alright, well, I guess I'll look at that later, but that's looking pretty solid. And here we go into highs for the day. Like I said, we would at least hit this price level here. So now what we should see is a pretty sharp drop. It's 10 o'clock, so we should see a pretty sharp drop off of these highs. It might be a trade opportunity in here, but it's pretty risky. I think a better trade opportunity is if we do decline back to these price levels here, or close to these price levels, 434-ish, 434.60-ish, I would say opening up a long position there for a day trade is probably a smart move. And then you'd want to close that long position probably just before noontime or in the 11 to 12 o'clock hour when we revisit highs. Right, so we got this going on thus far. Oops. Not as easy to draw as I thought it would be. Something like that for the day. You want to go down, Hermes? Wow, why is this thing bugging out like this? It's like not working. My markup is not working well. I guess I'll refrain from marking up today because it's really bugging out. Hey, Proof. As far as Gold's brief peak easily missed, that's not really the exact timing of that's. I don't have that information. It's sometime there. What I would look for is around the same. It was like I would look to determine the high. I would be looking for around the same price level as the previous highs of the year. Right, I'd be looking for price levels. Probably to be safe, I'd look for price levels around the 4. What is this? Man, this chart's awful. It doesn't even tell me prices. Like, my God. Around 2,000. Maybe just at 2,000. I know it went higher than 2,000, but to be on the safe side, maybe get out a little bit before the very top. But I would be looking for price levels around the 2,000 mark, maybe a little bit higher. Looks like we're already near those price levels, so we probably have a little bit of a pullback and then more move to the upside. What are my thoughts on market being bearish in into May after the November rally? No, I don't think November's going to be all bullish. It's doing what we expected. It's just these lowest lows didn't end up being lowest lows, which might not bode well for later on. I mean, this is really where the lowest low is most likely going to be, right here around the 14th, 15th. These were supposed to be lowest lows thus far, not exactly panning out. But there's a lot of toppy energy in this first week, so nothing's really gone like not according to plan, aside from like the depth of these two declines. And there's going to be 2 sharp drops. There's going to be at least one here on the 9th, but I think probably one on the 20th too. Yeah, there's a unicursal hexagram cross-reading congruency on the 20th as well. It's with the Queen of Cups. Star card there. And we have the star card appear on the 20th. Look at those cross-reading congruency, man. My God. I mean, like, you guys see the shuffle files when these readings come out. There's no way I'm placing these cards down intentionally. They come out on their own. The amount of time it took me to figure out these cross-reading congruencies existed, my God, it took me years, my friends. I was this crazy person with like 25 different overlapping time frame tarot spreads on the wall, like trying to find the relationships, like visually looking at it, trying to find the repeating patterns between weeklies and dailies and the monthly. You know, I mean, it was nobody was out of their mind that much except for me to go that far. And look, it paid off. They say it's the crazy people that change the world, right? I don't claim not to be. Hi. Is BTC flush down coming this week? Oops. Let me get rid of this. What is going on here? Okay, there we go. So November started here. So we did come pretty close to lowest lows here. I had a significant low here on the 6th, 7th. We came pretty close there. It looks hey. It's really mixed. This was a tough reading, guys. This Bitcoin reading was wild. I mean, I would want to be bullish on Bitcoin overall throughout the month of November. I'd want to be bullish on Bitcoin. There's some mixed behavior ahead with like a trough and probably close to a lowest low, if not a lowest low for the month here around the 10th, 11th. But keep in mind, that's not really far from where we are. The lowest low technically is like 34,197-ish, 34,136-ish, right? So we're not far off. And then there should be a highest high right after the lowest low. If the highest high doesn't end up being there on the 10th, 11th, then I would say it probably ends up being later in the month, somewhere around here, like the 20th, 21st. But it's pretty choppy. I wouldn't want to be like anticipating one direction like over another right now. I'd want to be kind of like anticipating back and forth behavior. Hopefully that helps, Proof. I might have missed my opportunity in that first decline to get into a long position for a day trade. Might have, because now it's what, 10:15? Oh, we still got some time. Does anybody know yeah, I know it's not a good trade time, I'd say, for Bitcoin, because it's just too wild stuff going on. Anybody know of a male leader of nations that's supposed to be speaking today around like 11 to 12 o'clock? Oh, really? Well, whatever he's speaking on, it should not be relied upon or trusted. FYI, guys. But I don't know. That's a Fed speaker. It's not a speaker of nations. So maybe I'm off on the ruler of nations. But there's definitely somebody speaking between 10 and 11. It could be that it's not a ruler of nations, but that it's combined with an important support level that we attempt to establish near the high. Either way, there's a speaker. Sounds like it's the Fed speaker here between 10 and 11, and the ruin is saying not to rely upon what he's speaking about. So whatever he says probably move the market incorrectly. I still expect there to be a drop here before we get into another rally into that high. Wow, quiet morning, huh? Oh, no, I'm like this. Man, my cloud storage, my app iCloud is being so slow lately. I don't know what's going on. It's really starting to aggravate me. The heck? How do I feel about market being bearish till May 2024? Yeah, it looks like I definitely missed my opportunity to get in that long position there in the open. I was busy talking when I should have been purchasing. So aggravating. Ugh. I'm so annoyed right now that I missed my opportunity. How do I feel about the market being bearish until March? Or until May? It's not going to be straight bearish. So we'll have a low very like on the cusp here, and then go into a high, and then back into a low probably, and then back into a high, and then we get pretty bearish into May. And then what was the other one? Pepe coin outperformed Dogecoin this coming run? Yes or no? I got a yes for that. See the overall trend for both of them. Looks like it's a yes for Pepe coin. Outperforming Doge. All right, guys, I'm going to roll with that said. Let me just recap real quick. So there was that opportunity here in the midst of this decline. We came pretty close to the lows of the prior day, not quite to them, but I think we'll probably see the lows of the prior day later in the day. In any case, there was that opportunity to open up long position. You could probably close that long position here, or maybe wait until the Fed, the speaker of the Fed, comes out around 11, between 11 and 12. But I think we're probably very close, if not at the tops right now. So what would make sense to close out of a long position probably. And then I'd wait until the speaker. If we go higher from the speaker, I'd open up a short position for a day trade, close that short position in a low, either between 1 and 2, or more likely between 3 and 4, closer to 3 o'clock. Looks like there's a day trade opportunity here as well. Ooh, looks like we might go higher. Matter of fact, we've got some RSI room up to the upside here. Glad I got out of those shorts early in the day, though. Would have melted my face off at this point. Anyhow, so brief peak that's easily missed here after this big move to the upside. Brief peak that's easily missed, taking us into a low midday. You could do a short day trade there. And then you could also open up a long there for a swing trade overnight. It's cross-reading congruency with this swiftness card. And then I would close out of that long swing trade somewhere around probably 11:15-ish. All right, my friends, thanks so much for watching. As always, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profits forward, 5% of the profits back. Leaves you at 90%. Make sure to spend out of love. As long as you follow those rules, you're an angel investor of the channel. The universe is going to send it back to you tenfold for following those rules of karma.